Aloha, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 75 on YouTube. I'm glad you guys are seeing some of these episodes. I really appreciate it. Just remember to like and subscribe if you like some of these episodes. Hopefully, this becomes a big thing. And yeah, so I went to a comedy show on Friday night. Uh, I drove up to Hollywood, and I also brought along my nephew, Isaac. Um, the Hollywood Roosevelt has a theater, and it's hosted by Josh Edelman, and he does a show called Well Dressed, a night of comedy and jazz. Jazz music was performed by the Daniel Rodham Trio. I did get to meet Daniel Rodham before at the previous show. I believe it was on February 24th. It's always a good show. Brand new lineup. Almost every single time, really. And I'm glad I got to go, and I'm glad my nephew had a good time. Um, so, the first person that went up was actually not Josh Edelman. Josh Edelman was pretty much running the background stuff, the audio, and then the filming, and he had help with like um, cueing the comics with the light to let them know they need to. They have like either a minute, 90 seconds, or 2 minutes left in their set to try to finish up. He got help from Bridget Sell. She was one of the comedians. So the first person that went up was the host, Taylor Miller. First time seeing her. Funny gal. Super nice. She wore like a red cocktail dress. Um, and it's cool seeing her. It's a nice change to kind of have a different host. Um, so Taylor Miller did her set. Like I said, she was pretty funny. Um, I would say her comedy that night on Friday was 8.4 out of 10. Um, she got the crowd going. Um, next is Mateen Stewart. First time seeing Mateen Stewart. Funny guy. He wore a an outfit, an African um, an African style outfit. And he had the hat too. Oh, the headwear. So looking pretty good actually. And you get to wear it on stage. And I would say his comedy uh, on Friday night was 8.2. Got quite a bit of laughs from the crowd. And um, next up was Bridget Sale. My first time seeing her do her live comedy. Um, the crowd kind of had some laughter in some parts of the room, not all at the same time. Um, but uh, I would say Bridget, her comedy was an 8.0 out of 10. Kind of talked to her after the show too. Super nice, friendly, always positive. Um, I was actually supposed to take a picture with Bridget after the show, but she kind of had a couple things going on, and I think she wanted to go to the Hollywood Improv after this show, and she forgot to take a picture. So I got a picture with Josh Edelman, so it's all good. Um, so next up with Josh Edelman, he mixed in some good stuff and old stuff and good and new stuff. So he always has this bit where he talked about how he dated a rich woman before, and it's funny stuff, really. One of his funniest bits. So, Josh Edelman, I'm going to give you an 8.5 for your comedy on Friday. Um, and then the next person that went up, I believe it was Willie Simon. Super funny guy. Um, the crowd got a lot of laughs. I would say he was probably an 8.6 out of 10. And then next guy that went up was Matt McCoy. First time seeing him as well. Got a lot of laughs too. He was slightly less funny than uh, Willie Simon. So I would say Matt McCoy, 8.5 for his comedy. And then the next person that went up, I believe it was Sophie Buttle. Sophie Buttle is Canadian. She has some projects going on, and her mic kept cutting out through her entire set. So some of the jokes that she said, it kind of lost some of its funniness um, with the mic being in and out. So you didn't really fully get the punchline as well and the intent of the reaction. Since once it goes kind of silent and you just hear normal voice, and you're on stage and you're people who sit as far as I do, which I happen to upgrade my seats with my nephew to the VIP section, so we got to be seated in the middle of the theater. So when I'm hearing it, uh, it was kind of bad to have the mic cut out for basically the second half of the show. So for a lot of comedians who had the mic cut out, some did pretty well. They talked loud enough, but then there's some who didn't really adjust for the in and out of the mic. So, mm, yawns. Um, so yeah, um, Sophie Buttle, I believe her comedy was 8.6 out of 10. About as funny as, or maybe a little better than Willie Simon. Um, Next up was Monterey Martinez. She's a comic that likes to do dark comedy. It's not a perfect fit for everybody, especially with the crowd when they come. She was talking about molestation, and it, I guess she said, and we kind of felt it too, that she kind of bombed. So I would say Monterey Martinez, I guess hers was like a um, 6.7 out of 10. Um, so it's kind of hard kind of following that because your mind kind of enters that kind of realm, and I give kudos to anyone who can make light of trauma, but um, it just wasn't really feeling it. So, and then your headliner, Kurt Metzger, um, funny guy. He kind of focused on one guy in the crowd though in the beginning, and then kind of did the rest of his set, and then his ending to his set was a little tad awkward, but overall, pretty good set. And I would say Kermester, I think his comedy on Friday night was 8.4. I did get to showcase my new blue jacket from Shin. So I showed you guys in a previous episode that I wore a golden floral Baroque gold jacket. So same place from Shane. So I got to sport it. So I'm glad. Um, and then I got to talk to some Josh Edelman after the show. Bridget, like I said. Um, and the host, Taylor Miller. So I got to introduce my nephew to all three of them as best I could because I didn't see anybody else hang around. So there's a spare room upstairs above the Hollywood Roosevelt Theater, and they have like 2 lanes for bowling. So nice place to hang out, a little nice place to dance a little and talk. Sort of. It's kind of loud, but overall, good experience, good comedy show. Um, and I always like seeing a brand new lineup. So when I go up to one of the comics, it's kind of cool. Introduce myself and get acquainted, get some pictures. So yeah. So uh, I plan on going to another comedy show tomorrow night. All Might Ahmed is performing at the La Jolla Comedy Store. Um, I'm also going to a show um, on Thursday at the Mic Drop in Claremont Boulevard. Victoria Parra had invited me to go, so I'll go to that show. And then Friday, I'm going to a Don't Tell comedy show in Mission Hills. There's a live taping at 7 p.m., so I plan to go to that one. And yeah, have some good fun this week with comedy. Yay! Um, oh, one more thing. Since at the Hollywood Roosevelt, they do serve food, so I was able to get a waitress by the name of Olivia. Olivia's pretty cool. I first ordered the caramel popcorn, but she kind of looked at me kind of funny because she did not want me to overpay for a basically caramel popcorn that was basically, Cracker Jack caramel popcorn. So I didn't order that, but she did ask me if I wanted a free cheesecake on her. So I took it, obviously. I'm not a fool. Good cheesecake. Cheesecake was probably a good 8.8 out of 10. Uh, and then I got the sliders, which were like two 4 ounce beef patties on between 2 pieces of bread each. So the sliders are pretty good. I would say 8.7 out of 10. And then the we also ordered the mac and cheese bites, and that was good. Um, I liked it.